Gabe, first question. Do you like dancing?
Of course, I love to dance.
You honestly do. You honestly like to get out on a dance floor, cut the rug, do the moves, the whole thing.
Now I'm like a little bit in dad mode, so I don't get to do that as often as maybe as I would like. But
Uh-huh.
I did enjoy dancing in my youth. Yeah. Did you never dance?
I hate dancing. I hate it so
Really?
much. I don't know what to do with my feet or my hands or my arms. I feel like I don't know. I'm a disservice to the dance floor when I'm out there.
You know, it's funny. I'm very lanky and I was pretty uncoordinated my whole life. And I didn't know how to dance. But, you know, when you play music, especially like us as bass players, like you have to have a little bit of rhythm, you know? And then I
Oh
had a
yeah.
friend teach me when I was young, like, it's not about the feet. It's really all in the shoulders when you dance. If you're able to
Oh.
separate your shoulders, yeah. So then I got that and I started using it live. And then I'm like, oh, I can do this. And then I'm like, wow, I can like dance. And then I started going out, you know, I started playing music before I was 21. And then when I was 21, I started going out and it was fun.
You're re-releasing Hot Mess on December 17th with 2 unreleased songs. This is for Cobra Starship. Were those songs from the Hot Mess sessions, or were they left over from other albums, or what's the deal?
Left over from the Hot Mess session, especially the one Party With You, which is a song that I love, that I really want on the album, it's a dance song. It's a straight up like
Uh-huh.
Floghouse, Ed Banger inspired dance song. And I think that's was like the weird thing about Cobra Starship is like, you know, we came from like the scene, the pop punk scene, and we got into electronic music and dancing, and we wanted to make dance songs too. We found a way to kind of walk that line. And this song was a song that I loved, made by one of my favorite producers, and we just couldn't clear it at the time. There was just some problems with it, and it just stayed on a hard drive for like almost 10 years. And then we were able to finally get it. We're like, oh, what happened to that song? I wonder if we can get it. And like, lo and behold, here it is.
Awesome. What do you remember about those sessions, the Hot Mess recording sessions?
Hot Mess was the first time that we actually like ventured into the real co-write world, right? So like, you know, before that, we really functioned as a band, like doing a whole album with a producer. And then, you know, by Hot Mess, people were like, oh, you got to get in the studio with this person, get in the studio with that person. And like, kind of like meeting lots of different people through co-writing. Yeah. And it was fun, you know, like we kind of, everything that we did, we kind of took the out of it a little bit. We tried to do it well, but we also had like a lot of fun. So I remember one of my first co-writes was for Good Girls Go Bad. And we did that with Cara Diaguardi and Jay Cash, who's now a huge producer, but that was his first session ever.
Wow.
And I remember when Cara Diaguardi went to the bathroom, I changed the backdrop on her desktop to something that I can't say, but yeah, but yeah, so we still came with like that head little punk kid mentality into these professional writing sessions. Yeah.
I make them good girls go bad.
What were your success rate with working with different producers? Like you walk into a room, you write a song. How often were those songs actually used?
Good question. It's funny. At the beginning, we had good success rate. I think because we were already coming in, like I had the concept Good Girls Go Bad. So it was like something to work with. We had kernels. Like, so when you're coming in already with some idea, it actually works pretty well because then you're getting a chance to have other people put their flavor on it. But when you come in from scratch and be like, hey, let's all meet together for the first time and create, you know, it never works. So I actually had like I think I had a skewed view of that world, a skewed positive view of that world early on because the first sessions went really well. Like I said, Good Girls Go Bad was the first session we did. And we're like, wow, this is a smash. And then afterwards, you know, we did a couple other ones that worked really well. One of the other first co-writes I did was Bruno Mars for 2 songs on that record, right? Like right before Bruno Mars became Bruno Mars. So it was great. I got to meet a lot of cool people. We got to learn so much about how different people work and people's different approach to songwriting, which is kind of also the point of Cobra Starship. Like I started Cobra Starship because my whole life I had been writing songs on a guitar and writing guitar and vocals and like building a song that way. And then with Cobras, I like made a choice. I'm like, no, I'm going to just start with like the computer and start with a beat and see where it goes. And that opened up so many more avenues as to what I could do musically. And then also working with other people who had different processes altogether it was really cool to see, to get to experience and see that. So at the beginning it was really awesome. Later on, it became a real drag.
I get it. Okay.
Have you done that? Have you experienced the co-write thing?
Oh yeah, we've co-written a lot, and sometimes it's awesome, and sometimes it's like a bad blind date.
Right. Exactly right.
Congratulations, Hot Mess just went gold.
Thank you. It's crazy.
Are you going to get plaques and the whole thing?
Yeah, I think I got to get plaques. I want to get plaques for like people that have worked with us and, you know, have never gotten in a plaque. So I think that's a cool thing to give people. Yeah.
For you personally, quick question. For you personally, did you have more fun touring with Plus 44 and Fall Out Boy, or more fun touring with Midtown and Blink 182?
By far, Midtown and Blink 182. And just the reason for that is just because of where I was in my life. Like, it's funny. I was thinking about this. I'm like, oh, I'm going to go do everything with the Mark. It's so funny. But I remember when we got that tour with Blink, Midtown, we were a band. I think our album had come out like 6 months earlier or something. And it was insane.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had like just left college. And I think that summer we ended up on tour with you guys. We had done like a couple tours before. So that was just insane. Like, that really was just like, wow. And I remember, it's funny. There's so many things I don't remember, but the things at the beginning I really remember. I remember we played, most of the venues we were playing were these outdoor amphitheaters, and we were first. So when you're first and it's seated, the sun is still out in the summer. People are dispersed throughout the whole place. It's kind of like a little bit of like, it's hard to like get the vibe. But then we played one show with you in Tampa at an arena, indoor arena, like a hockey rink.
Right.
And so all the GA people will all rush to the front. So, when you have a 50,000 capacity venue and there's, 2,000 people dispersed throughout, it doesn't feel like anything. But when all those 2,000 people are squished to the front and then the lights go down, and your lighting guy was really sweet and he like used some of your lights for us. Sorry. But so we had all the crazy lights and we're like,
that's great.
And we're like, yeah, it was awesome. And then we're like, I'm like, oh my God. So I really remember that, just being like having this, oh my God feeling. But I remember I was so green at the time too. I think you emailed me to like just be welcoming. Hey, so cool, you guys are going out with us. And I wrote you back this paragraph. I'm like, Mark, I'm so excited to meet you. I have so many questions I want to ask you. And then that was my first experience of a Hollywood no, just like no response. I'm like, oh, Mark hates me. I'm just like, no, he's just busy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I didn't reply.
I'm just so glad.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's honestly, I came on so hard. It's like when you're green, you're just like, oh my God, I'm an excited 19-year-old kid. I just want to know everything. Oh my God, I get to like I've been listening to you since I was 13. And now I'm going to be on tour with you. Wow, I want to know so much. And it's just like, yo, dude, find your chill. You'll get to know it at due time. Like young Jedi, in all due time, you will learn all the lessons.
What do you get asked about more, Cobra Starship reunion or a Midtown reunion?
Well, Cobra Starship reunion now for sure. When Cobra's, it's funny, when Cobra's was at its height, there was so much desire for Midtown reunion because a lot of people were discovering Midtown after like having heard about Cobra's or that. And I think a lot of people was like, oh yeah, Cobra Starship, they're that pop band, but do you know about Midtown? And so that was like some people's way of, claiming cred, which, give that credit. But then we did a Midtown reunion. 2014, we did a really fun reunion, and it was dope. Right before Cobra's broke up, and now everyone wants a Cobra's reunion. So, yeah.
Are you still writing music on your own?
No, I don't. But I work, with all my artists, I work with them very creatively. I think the thing that I find hardest today with creativity is like having that seed idea, right? Which we were talking about earlier when you go into sessions with. Like if you already have like these great ideas and things you want to express, then what you're really trying to do is give it form, right? You're trying to like bring it to life. When you're not really sure what you want to say, it's a little harder. And me, for myself, I think part of the reason why I stepped away from music was because I feel very fortunate to have had the opportunity to be an artist and really get to express. Like part of the reason you write music is because you have things that you're trying to figure out or reconcile, and you either do that with humor or with whatever ways people deal with that, but they have things that they're trying to make sense of, and you use music as a way to figure that out. And I really feel lucky that I've been able to express that and figure a lot of things out for myself. So kind of going back to that is almost feels fake to me in a way. Like,
right.
I put out 7 albums, right? Between Midtown and Cobra's. Yeah. Like, I feel like I've said everything I need to say, it's there. I find that with a lot of other creative people, like Albert Einstein said, I had only one idea my whole life, and that was when I was 20. And then I spent the rest of my career fleshing that idea out. So,
Wow.
In a way, it's kind of, not to get like deep on the creative process, but yeah, it's kind of like that. You have, some ideas, you get them out, you spend the rest of your life kind of like making sense of it or like actualizing it. And I feel like I've done that. There's something about, for me, like I like kind of leaving it there. Like I like doing that with Midtown. I like that Midtown, we did 3 albums and I'm like, peace, and then
right.
the Cobras. I think I stayed for 1 album too many, but it's okay.
So I want to talk to you about Tag. It's a management company, it's a studio, and it's a label.
it's really a label now. That's probably like 80% of our focus is on our label.
Okay.
I think that I'll tell you a little bit of the trajectory. When I stopped being an artist, I knew I wanted to work on the business side, just wasn't sure how or in what capacity. But I'm just like, I'm just going to go for it. I'm just like, I moved to LA. I think I spent like the first 6 months working at a Soho house, like everyone in the music industry, And then I'm like, dude, there's like a gazillion young managers here trying to do the exact same things we are. We need to like differentiate ourselves. So we had no clients, and I just invested in getting a space and getting a studio because I thought it would be like a good place to bring people together. And that was like smart at the beginning. And I think that just started like differentiating us. And at the beginning, I think everyone who's like a young person in the business wanting to work in LA, with the easiest thing to get your hands dirty with is like the writer producer world, right? Doing sessions, like there's so much movement you can get into right away. So it gives you something to do. Like literally I was just looking for something to do. I knew like all these people and I had nothing to call them about. I'm like, Cobra's not doing anything. Like, what am I going to call you about? So it was a great way for me to just to work with people, meet people, especially meet a whole new generation of young artists, see what they're doing. So definitely started in that world at the beginning. Then I started working with artists and trying to help them develop their projects, especially independent artists. And what I found was that, as the music industry started coming back, with like, for a long time, the industry was decimated where it's like, the record companies were trying to get a piece of your merch and your touring because records weren't selling, right? So whereas before the records were like the big money maker in the business, when all the Napster and stuff happened and people were getting music for free and music had no like monetary value, it was hard for them to make money. So they're trying to make money in other ways. So then all of a sudden, when the monetization problem started being solved and the subscription model, all that stuff came in, now there's money again. So then there's like, not only is there money, but there's like also like the democratization of the tools of production. It meant that like kids in like anywhere in the world with like a laptop could make a record, put it up, and it could become huge. So now there's like a gazillion artists, and the bigger record companies started becoming more and more like investment companies, right? And they invested in data people and like to algorithms and things to find things early so they could sign it, and it became less about the creative of the artist development. And for me, that's where I really found my niche because I'm a creative person. I like building things from the beginning. I'm passionate about artists that I believe in. And so I want to find something that people haven't seen yet, right? That hasn't blipped on someone's like KPI metric radar algorithm screen, and just be like, cool. I have a gut feeling about this and I'm going to figure all the other stuff out.
Right.
That was kind of what I started doing with management. And I just felt like any labels that we were partnering with, whether they're majors or indies, they didn't really have the mentality. They were just trying to like get the numbers to work, right? It wasn't like a creative process. So we started doing it. And I said, well, why am I, basically developing these acts and then just like giving over the business to these other companies that aren't as invested into the actual art of it as I am. Like, if the only thing missing is just investing in records, I can do that. So then I started the label, and the first thing we did, we got lucky, and it did 300 million streams. So that's really helped us grow kind of and reinvest everything. This artist named Tessa Violet. So she had a song called Crush that went viral, started going viral in like end of 2018, and to this day now it's about to go gold itself now.
Well, we're gonna play it now. So this is 300,000,001.
I can't focus on what needs to get done. I could be a crash.
Before I let you go, I hit up Pete Wentz before interviewing you, and I said, "Hey, I'm interviewing Gabe. What should I ask him?" And he said, "Ask him about the tattoo of himself that he made me get." So what's the story there?
First of all, I didn't make him get it. He put out a tweet or he made some announcement somewhere being like, yo, if Good Girls Go Bad goes platinum, I'm going to get a tattoo of Gabe's face. Like he said as a joke. And then lo and behold, the song went platinum. And so I think maybe I just held him to it, but I wasn't really holding to it. The fans were holding him to it. And I was really just at their service. I've been trying to make it happen. So he got a tattoo of my third grade class picture where I was really chubby and I had a little bit of a mullet. Then yeah, that's the tattoo he has on his leg. And I know when people hear about that, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you got a tattoo of you. But you have to take into account that Pete has hundreds of terrible tattoos. So it's just another one. It's no big deal. I'm just kidding. He doesn't have, they're not terrible. He has a lot of great tattoos, but when you're tatted up that much, I mean, I had a tour manager who just was like, his whole thing was just getting ridiculous tattoos. And he would just like, he had like Abraham Lincoln as a zombie, like pushing a shopping cart. Like, I'm just like, why? He's like, I don't know. Abraham Lincoln is a zombie. That he would be like, he had like this joke he would love to do where he'd be like, hey, like he acted like a total jock, and he'd be like, hey bro, you want to see my tribal armband? And he'd pull out his thing, and he just had written down my armband. It's tribal in parentheses underneath. So when you really have fun with it, tattoos can be fun. And now Pete has a fun tattoo. And I think he wrote around it, Gaby baby made me go crazy.
What is the rest of your day looking like? What do you have after this?
Well, it's almost 5 o'clock. I have one more meeting after this. And then I have a deal with my wife that I have to be home by 6:15 every day. Otherwise, she is not happy.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. What about you? What's your day after this?
my day, I'm going to talk to Cheat Codes after this, and
Nice.
we're going to finish taping the show, and then I'm already home. So my wife's already mad at me.
She's already mad at you no matter what. Yeah,
Yeah, no matter what. So I'll just go upstairs and get yelled at or something.
that's awesome.
Gabe, it's great talking with you. It's great seeing you again. I miss you. Let's hang out
man.
soon.
Miss you.
The re-release of Hot Mess with 2 new songs comes out December 17th.
Cool, dude. Great to see you. I really appreciate it.
Likewise. Totally.
All right.
Thank you, man.
Peace, man. Bye-bye.
Take care.
There's a place we can go. There's a world no